SQL Server scalar functions, they return a single value based on the input value. So they can be either built-in or user-defined. So built-in scalar functions are part of SQL Server and includes functions like getDate, we've used that before, len, concat. So user-defined scalar functions allow you to create a custom functions to encapsulate frequently performed calculations or operations. Now, creating a user-defined scalar function involves specifying the input parameters, the data type, and the return value, and the logic that calculates the return value. Some example, let's say we want to return an annual salary. We want to calculate annual salary. Suppose you want a function that will calculate the annual salary of the employee based on their monthly salary. So we can easily create something like create a function calculate annual salary, and then this is going to take a parameter at monthly salary, which is going to be the decimal type, and then this returns data type, and then as then we multiply that by 12 because this is just monthly. So now to use this function, let's say now the employee gets the annual salary based on the monthly salary of, let's say, 5,000. What will be the annual salary? So we can actually select. All right, so I just need to cut this. I'm going to put it on the next, so we can execute, and then we can just go ahead and execute this one as well. We must just say, let's just make sure that the name is correct. Calculate. Maybe I've got a spelling error somewhere. Right, and then we can execute. Let me just make sure. Calculate. I think we have to specify the schema, which is DBO, the default schema. So we have to say DBO dot, and then there we go. So we have to specify the schema there to execute that. So we can see now that the annual salary of that employee is 60,000. Let's say now, remember, SQL Server also provides built-in scalar functions that you can use directly in your queries. For example, let's say we want to find out the first names, the length of the employee's first name. So what we can do, we can say select first name, and then len first name, and then as name length. From employees. Then we can see that John has 4 letters, Jane 4 letters, Alice 5, Bob 3, Charlie 7, and so on and so on. All right. Sometimes we can also concatenate the first and last name. So what we can do, we can say select Let me just close this. So select and then concat and then a first name last name and then as full name from employees. Now instead of having a first name and last name, we're just going to have one full name. So that's what concatenation does. Okay, so anyway, I will just comment out this one because now it's actually somewhere there. And then execute again, and then we can actually see the full name now of the employees. So just think of a scalar as a specialized tools in your toolkit, just like you might use maybe a screwdriver to tighten a screw or a specific task. So you use scalar functions to perform particular operations on the data and get the results. So creating your own functions like maybe calculate annual salary like we did, is like you customize a tool to perform exactly the job that you need in your project. So perhaps you modify a garden tool just to better handle the specific plants in your garden. So built-in functions are like standard tools that you can buy at any hardware store, and then just designed for general tasks and very reliable. Using them correctly can just make your work much more efficient, just like as using the right tool for the job makes it any physical task easier.